will see what is exception handling in C sharp. Exceptions are two types. One is uh, errors are two types. Compile time errors, runtime errors. So this compile time errors. So during the compilation time or during your build time, you'll come to know, and we have to fix that before proceeding further. Then only it will allow. So this is compile time errors, nothing but your build time errors. While running the program, while building the application, it will show the error, and we have to handle this. Then only we could able to proceed further. And this runtime errors, during compilation time, we won't get to know anything. So only during runtime, we'll come to know there is a exception or error is happening. So now, what is exception handling? Exception handling is a technique to handle the runtime errors. Runtime errors. So exception handling is a technique to handle the runtime errors. So this is called exception handling, or exception handling is a technique, or it's a process to handle the runtime errors. So how you will do the exception handling? Mainly, there are three things to handle the exception handling using in this process. We use try block, catch block, finally block. So what is try block? And we have a throw. So try catch and finally and throw. So these are the ways to handle the exceptions. So what is exception handling? Exception handling is a technique to handle the runtime errors. What are the errors? Errors are two types. One is compile time errors, nothing but time errors, runtime errors, which is when you are running the application, that time these errors will occur. So this we won't come to know during compilation time. Only when the program execution is happening, that time it will terminate the program if there is a runtime errors. To handle those errors, we have to go for a exception handling. And this exception handling we can achieve with the help of try, catch, and finally blocks. Why this throw? Throw is used to throw the exception. Let's see the practically how this will work. So I'll create one folder. Section and inside this I'm going to create one. Go down, class. So this is my class. So when you want to write one program, for example, change static void main. So now inside this program, I'm doing something. For example, int of array numbers equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my array. So what I want to do, I'll do a for loop. For integer I equals to 0, I set the number set length I plus plus. So that right now numbers of I. So let's just say it. So when I do like this, so this is numbers. So I'm going to print this. So attempt I'll do either console dot read or read to show the output for long time. Now let me put a debugger here. Let me run my application. Okay, left turn. This is numbers. First time numbers I value is 0. Okay, numbers of I which is 1. Second time numbers of 1 which is 2. Third time 3. So these values we are printing here. How we are printing? See, we are printing 1, we are printing 2, we are printing 3, and we are going to print 4, we are going to print 5, we are going to come out of the list. Okay. So here, instead of less than, I just give less than or equals. Now there is no error, right? So let's build it. No error. There is no error. Build succeeded. Now let's run my application. Right. So there is our index was outside of the bounds of the array. There is an exception we are getting. So how to handle this exception? It should not happen like this. Program should not break. Okay. To avoid this, the logic where there is a chance of getting exception. Here we are getting exception, right? Keep this code inside a try block. What is try block? Where there is a chance of getting exception. Keep the code inside the try block. Where there is a chance of getting exception, keep that code inside the try block. So now, once you create a try block, either catch or finally any one block required. It will ask you expected, catch or finally. Then writes in try block. You must give either catch or finally block. You must give either catch or finally block. And this block means try block will get execute always. Okay, so now either catch or finally is mandatory. So, for example, catch exception begins. So console.write line ex dot toString. It will show the exception. Or if you know it is a arithmetic exception or index out of range exception, you can directly give that index out of range exception like this. Okay, now run it. Program won't break now. It will just show the exception will occur, but it will show the exception messages like this. Which was outside of the bounds of the array. Like this, it will show the exception, but program will not get terminated. Okay. Program, it won't break the program. But this is your try and catch block. Now, what is finally block? What is finally block? This is to do the code cleanup. How you do code cleanup? Numbers equals to null. So that we are making numbers as empty here, so that it is going to do the cleanup. Okay, at the end of that. So this is how we are going to implement the exception handling. So this is here which already index out of range exception. Okay. Now let's see a different example. So here I will take main method. I will take int console.write enter first number. Int first number equals console.read line. This read line, it is going to read the input as string. So now this is console.read line will read whatever input you give. So I want to convert this into number. So I'll use converter to int 32 of console dot read line. Okay. So like this I convert. So enter second number, enter second number. Please enter second. So here I will give less than 2 equals to convert dot 132 of console dot read line. Like this everything. So now what I'll do, I have two numbers. What I'll do, int result equals first number by second number. So that's right. Okay. So this is how I have a program. Now what I'll do, let me run my program. Enter first number 10 and the second number choose. We'll get the result of 5. The result is 5. Now 20. So we'll get the output of 10. Right? 20 by 2, which is 10. So now 100. Second number 0. What is the output? Which exception? Will be 0. So program will be broken, right? Attempted your by 0 exception. Okay. So there is an exception occurred. So why to handle this type of error? So we need an exception handling. So how exception handling will work now again? So keep the code where there is a chance of getting exception inside a try block. Once you give a try block, either catch or final is mandatory. Correct? So now I'll go for a catch block. If you don't know what type of exception you will get, you can give this class, exception class, right? Like this. Now, here in this case, we know we will get the exception which is divided by 0 exception. So if I give like this, divided by 0 exception. Here also will get error. Anybody guess why? Don't know. Why? Because this is specific exception, right? So this, see, a previous catch class already catches all the exceptions. This is generic exception, which will catch the all the types of exceptions. So that must be at end. Always your generic exception catch block should be at end of the program. Why? Because this will handle generic exception. Okay. This will handle all types of exception. That's why we have to keep it end. Otherwise, you'll get error. So what is exception? Catch block to handle the exception. We can have more than one catch block, right? We can have more than one catch block, but generic exception should be at end. So what is the priority? First, user defined exception. It's a priority. Priority should be like this. First, user defined exception, then system defined exception, and generic catch block. So this is how we are going to have the exception handler. So now, why the family block? We can have more than one catch blocks, but at a time, only one catch block will get executed. So when you have a multiple catch blocks, for example, if it is a divide by 0, it will come to this exception and it will come to final block. Okay. So it won't enter other catch blocks. Okay. If it is a specific error, it will go to this. If there is no exception class specified, then it will come to generic exception. That's why only one catch block will get executed. And what is finally block? This is to do the code cleanup. Why code cleanup? We need to clean that large to clean the large or complex objects like constructions, etc. at earliest. That is the purpose of final employment. And also, this clock also will get exhibit always. But cache block, this block will execute, will get execute only when exception occurs. Cache block will try block and finally block will execute always. Cache block will get execute only when error occurs. And throw is used to throw the exception. This is from the exception. So there are two things. One is throw and throw is. These are the two things. So how this throwable exception will work? For example, here only to throw something. Throw. So now that is throw exception. Okay. Some message. So like this, we are going to use the exception measures. Understood? Any doubts here? And finally, block. You also to use finally block. So we don't have much. These two this will have first number. You can insert with default values, which is nothing but your 0. Second number, also you can make it as 0. So that we are cleaning that object. That's default value. This is how we are going to handle the exception. So there is a chance of getting exception. So now we won't get this result because when the exception occurs, this will execute. After this line, immediately it will come to this, it will just throw that. So catch blocks to handle the exception. At a time, we can execute, it will get execute only one catch block. Why? Because it will throw a specific exception. If nothing is specified, then it will come to the general queue. And finally block to do the code cleanup. Understood? So exception handling is a technique to handle the runtime errors. Errors are two types, compile time and runtime. So for example, let me try one more example. Keeps it. Properties. So here the last enter is so I'm going to enter my age. So once you enter the age, we'll put one condition. Age is the agent throw the like this something. So now let's see what will happen. Age must be greater than or equals to 18. So let me keep the default here. Let me keep the default here and here. Which is question 0. So now let me run the program. Enter your age. For example, I'll enter 12. So it will check the condition. Age is less than 18. So it is going to throw the exception. Now see where it is coming. Directly it is coming here. Where exception block. So now here what it is going to execute. Age must be whatever you gave the error. Age must be greater than or equals to 18. Okay. So like this, your exception will get executed when you throw. So and we have one more thing. Throw. So when you do the throw, okay, a throw statement with no arguments is not allowed outside of the class. So what you need to do? So you can give the exception message, string message, and inner exception details also you can give. Message and inner exception details. You want to give more inner exception. So you can type something. This is inner exception. Like this. Now it should be an exception. Out of bracket exception. Something like this. So like this, okay. Either in this current scenario, this is our exception. You can also do this. This is to throw the exception wherever we want to. We can throw the exception. So this is how we will handle the exception handling. Why is exception handling? It's a technique to handle the runtime errors. Okay, there is a two types, compile types, runtime. So we can achieve the input, try, catch, finally, and throw. So this is to throw the exception. Try block, where there is a chance of getting exception, keep that code inside try block. Catch block will handle the exceptions. Finally, to do the code cleanup.